now? What is everybody doing? Where is the urgency now?
I'm over it.
I know. Think how Power prepares for COA with clerks.
We're not being fair, or we're being hard on them, and we, Goal made it hard at every turn.
She did.
There were more than enough. Yeah, but there were more than enough people who were coming to them, basically like force feeding them information and work that they had done themselves, attorneys and normal like lay people. And why was that not considered? It's not like they're saying they didn't have enough help, or there was like a mountain of discovery and Goal made it hard. Okay. Why are we still making offers of proof for fucking Elvis Fields when nobody has gone to any lengths to confirm Rick's alibi with his own fucking phone data? Where's Rick's phone data? Because it exists somewhere. So where is it? How about instead of proving your own theory, you disprove that your client did it? It's not fucking complicated. I'm very confused and I'm pissed.
I feel like that probably should have been like assigned to one person. Like one person could have probably done that. Like you could have assigned that to one individual and they could have worked on that, going through just his phone stuff, looking at other camera. Like, are you going to tell me this is the only camera in all of Delphi? Like, surely he was picked up on a different camera somewhere. How did he drive there? Is he on camera on the way there? Is he on camera on the way back?
And you know that they collected them in 2017. They absolutely did.
And his phone was a Android phone. I don't like Android. Right. It's harder to get shit off of my iPhone than it is off of an Android phone. He would have had to have a Google account signed into his phone for his phone to even work. Do you know how much shit Google I implore you to go like check your Gmail, even if you're not using it for an Android phone, you're just using it for whatever, like, your Google Drive or whatever. It's literally taking data from you, like everywhere you are, unless you've turned stuff off or gone. If you don't know that, and most like older people, like, let's be real. My mom doesn't turn off anything. I turn off all the things. I've been tracking my mother for years. She has no idea. She has no clue she's sharing her location with me. So like, I doubt he knew. And so where's all of that data? So even if you can't get his physical phone,
you can get
there's the search warrant for Google to get all of that Google information. And so
what time did he
go get Ray
at his house? Like, what time did his phone connect to Wi-Fi at his house? There's so many things that they should have done first before any of the bullshit about third-party suspects came in. I'm not saying that shit's not important. I'm not saying that shit's not important, but like, why don't you do that after? Because you know that the jury first is going to want to know where your client was. Where was he? Yeah. Why don't you put his wife on the stand or his mother?
Well, and I do, but to be honest, like, coming from your wife, it's really not. If they would have,
but data's good though.
Yeah, but if it was, I would have, I guess, maybe been better for nothing than nothing. But like, it would have meant very little, as opposed to like maybe a neighbor saying, I saw him because I said hi when he got home and blah, blah, blah. Like a wife being like, oh, when I came home from work at 5 o'clock, he was asleep on the couch. Like, they don't really know.
How about you talk to the 3 girls that existed?
That's what I was going to bring up.
Okay, go ahead. Rip, let it rip.
I know I've sent it. I sent it via email multiple times.
Courtney has sent it too. Yeah.
Okay. I've had people message me on like Facebook saying that, there's these 3 girls' names. Do you know if they know it? And I'm like, don't know if they know it. Go ahead and send it. But like, it's even knowing it's already been sent, I'm thinking maybe if they see something in their inbox that keeps popping up over multiple emails, that they're going to be like, perhaps this is something we should look into. All these people can't be wrong. And to find out that one of my biggest things was like, Rick said he saw 3 girls. This is admittedly a group of 4 girls. Why are we pretending that it doesn't matter that you didn't interview the 4th girl? It doesn't matter that she was a minor. She exists. She's a human. She was 4. There. She was part of a group of 4. So he would have noticed 4 girls, not 3. He would have just noticed the older girls and not the little girl.
And their whole argument was that there was only one group of girls.
There was
not. And even if the girls didn't see Rick or didn't remember seeing him, they could have at least proven that there were in fact 3 girls that were like by the basketball courts or whatever the fuck around the time Rick was there. Like, just proving that they were there. Okay, well, he didn't see that would have probably held a lot more. I don't know. They didn't present any alternative, and I don't just mean suspects. All they said was Rick didn't do it. His confessions aren't real. Okay.
Yeah.
So where was he?
Right.
I want to just bring this up for a second because I feel like most people who are here are pretty firmly in the Free Ricky camp, and this is bothering me, and I only want to give it a little bit of attention for a moment. And the reason I want to give it attention is because I feel like it's stopping it. What it's doing is it's like divide and conquer, right? And I think people know that I'm very much wanting us to come together and help Rick Allen and do whatever we can, whatever any of us can do, whatever skills that is, contribute them towards the goal of him getting a new trial and hopefully that trial being successful. But there's something right now that's sort of dividing us, and that is there is somebody who is out there and is supposedly speaking on behalf of Kathy Allen and making certain attorneys feel kind of unwelcome, and that be Cara and Michael. She's an investigator, it's Erica. And I'm not happy about all this. I feel like it's causing a lot of division, and we talk about this Free Rick Allen community. As far as I'm concerned, it's not. We don't look like a community much from the outside, and people who are very much against Rick Allen's innocence are laughing right now, like they just think it's hilarious. So I don't know what you guys think, but how do we overcome it? How do we get past this?
Go ahead, Angela.
Angela's muted.
Probably just made her have a stroke. Oh God. My plan was to piggyback. So seeing how like unglued Angela became, then I was gonna like level out my level of like unglued, because
you ain't seen unglued. Go ahead.
Okay, no, you go ahead. Because I have a tendency to like say things that can be inappropriate and like go above and beyond where everybody else is going to do. So I want to hear what you
want to take my temperature. Okay, so am I responding to what you said, Hella?
Yes.
So I think that it doesn't really matter what the reasoning is. I think that from the beginning, Kathy Allen should have had a victim advocate. And I don't mean a fake one. I mean a real one with a degree and training, who's trauma informed, who's not with the prosecutor's office or with an attorney's office. Like, she needed a social worker or a therapist, somebody to help her. And I don't just mean like to help her mentally. I mean to literally keep her from all of the vultures that inevitably swarm around high profile cases. That's what she needed. And she didn't get that. And it's not because nobody told them that she needed that, by the way. She just didn't get it. And that's fine. But after 2 years of her husband being incarcerated and tortured and all of the things that she's gone through, I'm sorry, but at this point, I don't believe that it's appropriate for a wife to be making all of the decisions for her husband, who's probably not, in my opinion. I don't understand, and I don't see how somebody in Rick's situation could possibly be 100% competent right now. And people get really pissed when you bring up mental illness. But the reality is, if we're trying to prove and explain to the world that you can't take the psychotic utterances of a psychotic man as truth, but we also want everyone to believe that Rick's doing great and he's fine, he's capable of whatever the fuck, like that. At the end of the day, Rick needs to get out in order to heal and to be well. And I don't know what happened with Kathy Allen, who she's talking to, how the contract got out. It doesn't fucking matter to me. That's too messy for this. And somebody needs to basically mediate. And I don't know what that looks like. I think there's a lot of people with a lot of different motivations. Some of them are probably pure. Most of them probably feel like they're helping. Most of them are not helping. And
yes,
it's too much pressure. Kathy's not a lawyer. Like, Kathy shouldn't be in the position to have to make these decisions. And I don't think that she's making decisions in Rick's best interest. anymore if she's the one that made that decision. So get Kathy support and get her out of the mess. Like, extract Kathy from the mess, please, and let actual lawyers help get Rick out, because he needs to get out. He's not going to survive in there. He's just not.
No. Lucy?
I think that sometimes when, even if we think we're being helpful, we're being harmful. Something as simple as not really understanding. So if you give me something to read and say it's for Hella to read, but she's like all over her brain is just like, oh, she's like, can you read this to me, explain this to me as my friend? You're my friend. Can you please? And I go to do it, but I don't really understand what I'm reading. My judgment might be clouded. I might be angry at the writer of whatever I'm reading. And so that then spills into my interpretation of what I'm reading. And I'm mixing that with the fact that I don't really understand what I'm reading. And so when I tell you what it means, it might not be what it actually means.
Yes.
And so even though I'm trying to be helpful in the sense that like, I want to help my friend understand this, or she's asking me for help, so I want to help her, in any way that I can. I think that when minds are more clear, it will be more clear that this is a very harmful waste of time. I saw somebody comment and say like that we can say all we want to, but like it's not helping Rick get out of jail. And I said this to Angela earlier today, that I'm tired. Like, I know that people say us talking about it is stopping him from dying in prison. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But it's not enough. Like, for me, like, it's not, talking about it is not getting us any closer to like a solution of getting, a new trial or getting him out or whatever your goal is. And I'm a little biased in the sense that I know the people who wrote the contract. I know what their motivations were and how and who they are, I should say. And so I know that above anything else, above their own pay, above their own reputations, above their own practices, above their own lives, they are willing and offered to give all of that for Rick, to help Rick. And
yeah, pro bono, completely.
I can say, I can help gather all this information and I can help you organize stuff and I can, send you stuff from long ago and I can call whoever and I can help I can say all those things. I can be helpful. I don't do the photoshopping stuff, but what you do, Hella, is great. But none of us can file shit in court that can actually do anything. So like,
exactly.
You need attorneys. So as much as you think you can help, you can't file legal documents.
Right.
So all of your help is just sitting there. Nothing can be done with it. You can investigate all you want to. If you can't,
So you don't have discovery. If you're not an attorney, you don't have the discovery. You can't go through it.
You have all the information.
Okay, so for people who are missing context, I might just put up Kara's tweet. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Nicole.
I just think what it really boils down to for me is that this could be a very helpful community, and also a community where if your intention is to help Rick, right? Just think of like the people who can actually file shit in court being like the top of the tree, and then everybody else underneath bringing in all of their skills and research and whatever else to like support the top of the tree, right? Because like without the rest of the tree, like what is the top of the tree? It's literally nothing. So I think that if everybody's intentions were aligned with just like helping Rick, right? I mean, helping Rick in turn will help Kathy, right? I would assume. So if all of our goal was to help Rick find the truth, if we can, which at this point that's really our only option. And we can't do that with just Reddit posts, Facebook posts, shit from trial going. Like, you got to have the discovery for that. Like, you can't just do it with the shit that we've seen on social media. You got to have like actual shit to look at.
Yep.
So if we were all like working together rather than wanting to be Kathy's biggest support,
Best friend.
Yeah.
It's so inappropriate.
Yeah.
it's become like
Exactly.
a I have info you don't have, or I think
Yes.
I do, and
That.
I have an in that you don't have. And instead of actually using that to help, we're making it like a contest that only a few are playing, and the people that they're playing against are like not even playing.
Right. It's
And
like,
Rick and Kathy
it's-
are.
100%.
Sorry, you want to read this, Hala?
Yeah, let's read this. Okay. So this is from Kara Weineke. So piggybacking on this earlier post, appellate work is very different than post-conviction work. Appeals have hard and fast deadlines. We have very efficient appellate court system here in Indiana, and the judges and justices expect attorneys to monitor their caseloads so they can meet those deadlines. Post-conviction practice occurs at a much slower pace. The investigation portion can start at any time. In fact, in capital cases, it is not unusual to see post-conviction counsel interacting with trial counsel even before a verdict. The work itself is also different. On appeal, you are reviewing what has been done, conducting research, and doing a lot of writing. In post-conviction, you are really starting over from the beginning and looking to see what was done and what wasn't done in terms of investigation. Is there new evidence that would have made a difference? That process takes time, a lot of it, but you aren't really on a clock. Indiana gives defendants time to develop their cases. Nevertheless, the defendant is serving time in prison, so there's always a push to move quickly. During the time after the Delphi verdicts, I believed there was an interest by the Allen family in beginning the post-conviction process while the appeal was being litigated. Nearly a month ago, we attempted to start the process by sending a pro bono representation draft agreement to the Allen family through Kathy's attorney. I think she's speaking of herself and Michael Osbrook. Guys, am I incorrect? To date,
You're
we
correct.
have correct.
Which part?
To date, that she's speaking here about when she says we.
Bono. Yes, she's talking about the two of them.
Yeah. Yes. To date, we have not been told about specific concerns about the agreement. Normally, all of this is done privately between the parties, but nothing about this case is normal. Smiley face. Instead, it appears the draft was shared with others. I don't know when, by whom, or to whom, but I do know that some publicly claimed we were attempting to steal the appeal, in quotation marks, to get our hands on the fundraiser money and to sell the rights to this story for a book deal.
Can I just say, first of all, the book deal thing is just so openly moronic that I don't know who would actually believe that. Who the fuck has time to write a book? Secondly,
Right.
I mean, look at the people that do have the time to write a book, okay?
Right.
We're not talking about the same caliber of people.
Thank you, ma'am.
No.
The other part is let's say somebody did steal the appeal, right? There's literally no use for the fund money for the fucking appeal. There's
Right.
no investigation happening. There's no, like, they're not going and deposing people. They're not hiring experts. They're not digging up evidence. There's no reason that the appeal people would need fundraiser money. So to even say that their intention was to steal the appeal so they could get fundraiser money is just preposterous and makes you look stupid, because that's not even a thing.
Right.
But the other thing is, like, well, I'll let you keep going because you still have more. But she did
That's
explain
fine.
to steal the appeal. Like, that's how stupid some people are, because literally before the appeal was like even started, anything was filed, like she was asked, she didn't ask to, she was asked to be part of the appeal. And for reasons that are not my place to say no, or to tell everybody why she said no. She did say no. So she's the one that turned down working on the appeal. For her
Isn't
own
Kara
reason.
not even an appellate attorney?
Kara?
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, people in one breath they'll say that the defense didn't have enough help, right?
Yeah.
But then in the next breath they'll think another set of attorneys, like 2 attorneys, won't need more help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it takes a village, right? You have defense counsel who was not willing to incorporate the village, right? They were weird about it.
Yeah.
They didn't know about it. But then you have these other attorneys who are wanting to work for free and come out of their own pockets and have come out of their own pockets, who see the value in utilizing and being part of the village.
And by the way, these are 2 attorneys who stepped up and defended Brad and Andy and saved their careers. Brad and Andy were facing contempt charges and serious allegations, and literally got thrown off of a high-profile case for misconduct, allegedly. That's a big deal, and that is something that follows you for life. And Kara and Michael, both in separate ways, came to their defense and put forth excellent arguments and work and saved their fucking asses. And they didn't have to do that, and they didn't expect to be paid handsomely in exchange for that. So now for people to turn around and act like Kara and Michael have at any point done any of this for their own benefit or their own gain, like Kara's on the road doing oral arguments all the time. She's quite busy. Michael's busy winning habeas cases. Like, it's the most disingenuous bullshit. And for trial counsel to not be bending over backwards to go to bat for them now, I said this earlier, I'll say it again. I'm not here to like cast judgment unfairly, but when I see some shit that really disturbs me, I'm going to say the lack of integrity that I've seen from people who I held in very high esteem has been baffling. Baffling.
Same. And then you have Kara and Michael, and you know, nobody has to believe me when I say this, but like, they do all the things that Angela just said they do, like in their everyday lives, but yet still take the time. Like, most of the time, hearing from either of those 2 is like between 5 a.m. and let's say 8 a.m. for Kara, right? Because she tries to catch up on all this shit. She tries to ask questions about all this shit before she does her normal job that actually pays her. And then Michael, whenever he's done his shit, he'll be up from, you'll hear from him from like 10 o'clock to like 4 o'clock in the morning. The man hardly ever sleeps.
Pretty much.
He's watching all the shit that people say about him because he knows that adverse conversations bring about ideas and different types of thinking. And so he wants to know that stuff. So he literally suffers through that bullshit, which I can't do anymore because it's just absolutely ridiculous. And it's just, it's very frustrating to see good people who can actually help be drugged by people who might think that they're well-meaning but can't actually help Rick. And I think
being blocked from helping Rick and being insulted in the process.
Correct. And I feel like it's not meant to be like I'm not trying to like shit on anybody, but like, if you think just as like a regular person without the help of any attorney that you can actually help Rick in a meaningful way, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really narcissistic might not be the right word maybe, but you think very highly of yourself, and it's just not true. It's just not true. You can't like do everything. You can pick apart everything that's being made public. If they give you all the trial exhibits, you could pick all those apart too. None of that's going to get him out of prison. I'm sorry.
Did I finish reading this?
No, you were at none of that is true.
Okay, cool. No, none of that is true. Where's that? I'm so lost.
So
Right after book deal.
stop.
Oh, yeah. None of that is true. But I couldn't say anything because these discussions are usually conducted confidentially between the parties. I just wanted to help for free because I believe an injustice has been done. But I can't afford on my own to pay for experts out of pocket, and there is investigation that needs to be done now before the evidence disappears. Yesterday, the draft agreement was shared publicly. I can only assume that was done with permission. I can also only assume that the message was clear that my help is not desired. I will continue to follow this case and pray for a just outcome. I wish the Allens the best of luck in their future endeavors. What a damn shame. What a goddamn shame.
What a missed opportunity.
Yep.
Can I just circle back to what I said about Kathy for a second? Because I feel like I want to make something really
I thought
clear.
that was where we might go right now. Go ahead.
Okay. Is that okay, Nicole? I really feel for Kathy when we watched the interrogation video finally and saw what happened to her when she came in to talk to Rick. It's just it became, as if it wasn't already, so viscerally apparent how devastated and traumatized and broken down she was. And that was just after a few hours in a room with the investigators. So I do not think that it's fair to Kathy, honestly, to put her in a position or to hold her in a position where she has to make the best decision for her husband. Like, it's just not fair. And I'm not saying that she's not wanting to make the best decisions. I'm saying that I don't think that she's capable of making every decision for her husband, because nobody would be in that position, and it's not fair, and she shouldn't be in that position. And that is why to block people like Kara or Michael, who are trying to visit Rick, by the way, who are getting blocked from even visiting Rick, to put eyes on the man, to make sure that he is in one piece, that he is is he well or is he unwell? Because I am rooted firmly in the belief that he is unwell right now. And I don't care who says that he's not. I'm hearing stories about Rick's excited to get baptized. Really? That scares the shit out of me. Like, I'm telling you that people who have no business making assessments on somebody's mental health and somebody's wellness. And if Rick is saying that he's doing great and he's accepted his situation, to me, that's not good. That's not a good thing. Rick is a defiant man. Rick's best protection against the state has been his own mind and his own resilience. And that was true throughout all of the interviews that he did that we saw from beginning to end. He stood firm. He was firm in his conviction. He supported his wife when she cracked and broke. Like, his best asset is that he is a strong motherfucker. And they broke his brain, and that's not his fault. But somebody needs to get in there and make sure that he's okay, because who knows what they're doing to him. And he needs somebody to help him make decisions. And I'm not sure that that's his wife. I don't know if a wife is the right person to do that in general. She's not a lawyer. Like,
it's almost like
he
needs, what do they give kids? Like, what
a guardian ad litem?
Yes, it's like he needs that almost.
They exist. They do exist. But that would come with somebody like Kara and Michael doing a PCR investigation or acting as just like additional peripheral counsel while the appellate attorneys work with the very limited scope that they're supposed to work within. That is why more help is better, because somebody should be in there visiting him fucking weekly if it were up to me, but it's not. And that's why they need more help. And nobody should be blocking attorneys who want to help Rick Allen, period. Like, period.
Well, and not even just attorneys. I have a big problem with this whole while I understand that there's probably weirdos that message him and say things like evil, hateful things and stuff like that. You know, I can acknowledge that, but at the same time, I think that if I were to make a list of harm being done to him, like one of the things I would add to that list is convincing him or advising him, whoever did it, to block everyone except for, initially it was everyone except for counsel. Well, I've seen people who are not counsel commenting on their discussions multiple times a week with Rick. So it's not just counsel that he was told to block. It was everybody but us basically. And what you said
And
about
not us. You mean those people.
those people, yes.
Right.
And just to comment on what you said about the baptism thing. So I'm of the opinion, and I think Angela's also of this opinion, and we are both familiar with brains in two different ways. Me more in like the brain itself, and her more in like
Mental
the
illness.
psychological effects of a brain. And I'm of the opinion that his brain, I don't think it's possible for it to be quite right. So like when I heard, while I was appalled that the story was told in almost like a joking manner about him eating Post-its and shit at trial, I think that is likely true,
Mm-hmm.
as I don't believe that his brain has healed from various things. And
Mm-hmm.
so
That's fair.
we're talking
Who would just
about,
bounce back?
it really does. Like, I'm here to tell you, okay, so we had a traumatic brain injury clinic. So traumatic brain injuries can happen from like a number of different things. Obviously, it can happen from, you getting into a car accident, hitting your head. It can happen from skull fractures. It can happen from, I had a patient actually who shot himself in the head, and lived. And essentially, like every time I saw him, it would like move me to tears. Just the fact that he was so, he could actually talk, and he could move, and he could articulate well, and he had a memory, and it was like absolutely not what we expected in any way. Okay. So people's brains can bounce back from a lot of stuff, but I'm here to tell you that like it takes a lot of work, and a lot of like attention, and a lot of therapy, and a lot of doctor's appointments, things that you don't get in prison, right? So my concern is when we start talking about baptisms, right? And we go back to when his psychosis started and the religious out of nowhere things we were doing, which still, I think one of the big things for me with that is that all this time he was like reading the Bible. He's always reading the Bible. He's reading the Bible. But anytime he mentions the Bible, he only mentions one verse. It's the same verse. Every time he brings it up, every time he asks someone to read it to him, every time he starts, spouting it out, it's always the same verse. It's not like he's reading it, studying it,
Absorbing it.
and then
Yeah.
sharing new things that he's read or heard or stories. And let me tell you about the story of Hella or whatever. Like it's always just the same thing. And so let's just say his brain's still not right. He's still in that religious, whatever. Angela probably knows what to call it. And if we're blocking him off from talking to other people, and people that do have access to talk to him are feeding that, right?
Yes.
It's going to be a little bit more difficult. Like I would think that it would progress his, I don't want to call it mental illness, but it's not helping him go back the other way. It's just going to keep pushing him further and further. It's really difficult to articulate because
they're feeding his delusions, basically, is what they're doing.
Yes. And let's say that he is about to be baptized. Like, it almost seems like brainwashed. It's so bizarre. It's like, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I was baptized when I was a baby.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, if someone's having hallucinations and they're scared of these hallucinations, are you gonna like keep being like, yeah, you see that huge like 10-headed monster over there? Like, oh, we're gonna fall in lava. Like you're not gonna like encourage those things that are like not right. You're gonna You're going to try to, yeah, somebody does, it does seem like brainwashing. It seems
You're going to
like
ground them
a
in
lot of
reality.
manipulation.
Well, you're gonna challenge that too. Like no one is saying that Rick's not allowed to find God or to find comfort in
Sure.
religion while he's in prison, or that he's not allowed to have his Bible. And like that's a very different thing from a religious delusion and like a hyper religiosity. And the fact that Rick went from being basically he was basically atheist, right? No, he went into DOC without a religion, and all of a sudden WOAH and Harshman are like, oh, on the 21st of March, he gave his life to Jesus. And it's like, okay, well, it's not like he was going out and experiencing church or experiencing, whatever. Like him talking about baptism makes me fear for his like that to me sounds like suicidality. That to me sounds like giving up.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like
what Keith just said.
What did Keith say?
Keith just said baptism is symbolic and represents a cleansing and forgiving of sins before passing into the afterlife. It means he's planning to depart.
Well, so you talk about whenever Rick gets super hyper religious and when he's incarcerated, what is he also talking about? He's talking about wanting to die.
Yeah.
He's talking about wanting to die and to see his family again in the afterlife. And he's talking about wanting to, even the confessions, one day soon, the actual timeline of Rick's DOC custody will come out because we're working really hard to get it out. And people will see that the confessions, as they call them, like there's a very specific pattern that they follow, a very specific pattern that involves head injury, that involves sleeplessness for periods of a week or longer, that involves someone or someone's fucking with his tablet and fucking with his sleep and not allowing him to sleep. He's not eating, his blood pressure dropping to like critically low, barely alive levels. Like there's a lot going on with Rick Allen while he's in custody at DOC that make those confessions garbage. And
I don't know if anybody else, I don't know if anybody in here is a nurse or like would know these things, but I'll throw this question out to everybody since I have yet to meet a single soul who knows anything about blood pressure to say that they've ever seen someone like this. I would like to know if anybody with a medical background has ever seen someone with a diastolic blood pressure of 20 that is alive, a live human with a diastolic blood pressure of 20.
That's
Is that the lower one?
Yeah. The bottom number.
Not me.
Mine's really low, but it's not 20.
I've never seen a live patient with one of 20.
No.
So that's the state of mind. Like you have to take the whole person into consideration when you're talking about mental health and mental wellness and capacity. And if my blood pressure is like basically not
that's the truth,
not compatible with life. There you go, Moon Turtle. If my blood pressure is not compatible with life and I haven't slept in 8 days, but I get on a phone call and I tell my wife I did it, and I sound quote unquote lucid, how about we just like for a second pretend like a person, their brain is connected to the rest of their body? That's not that's why like the rule of completeness for me in this case, the defense should have, in my opinion, worked harder to paint the full picture of what was going on with Rick at the time. And I don't know how they could have done that. I do think that is one area that they really tried to focus on, but people don't get it. They don't understand what he has been going through and what he went through. They don't understand. It's not just prison. Like they were allowing Rick to bang his head repeatedly into concrete walls in his cell day after day after day, to the point where he had to be seen by medical. He's bleeding, he's bruised, and they're self-inflicted because he's psychotic, and they're not stopping him. And he's saying things like, they're telling me to do it. They're telling me to do it. They're telling me I have to do it. He's afraid of the guards. They're tasing him when his blood pressure is that low, by the way. Like this is not
and the number being 20 and someone who has previously had a heart attack and has stents in place.
There you go. Who's not being given his medication regularly because they're involuntarily medicating with Haldol, but they're not involuntarily giving him his fucking heart medication. So how is that helpful to him at all? It doesn't make any sense to me. They were not trying to keep him alive and keep him safe. They were trying to get confessions out of him. They were literally trying to, and this is the one thing I do also, another thing I think Rosie got right, but he probably shouldn't have left it for closing arguments. He was there for one purpose and one purpose only. They were trying to pull confessions out of him. And the other pattern that's really clear in these in Rick's detention is that the reason that they're transporting him around is because they can get audio on the little camcorders that they're carrying. So as soon as he starts to deteriorate and have a mental health crisis and start to muttering to himself, what do? They do they forcibly extract him from his cell. It is so scary to be psychotic. Someone in psychosis is afraid of everything. And then you're going to go in and extract him from his cell just so you can drag his naked body around the fucking hallways of Westville so you can get his confessions on camcorder, and then you throw him back in his cell after you're done. Like, these people need to be in fucking prison themselves.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that anyone has interfered with Rick getting civil lawyers in there to help him makes me want to absolutely vomit. It's sick. Just getting someone exonerated is great, but that's not going to help them for the rest of their life. Like, that is not the thing that actually gets them restored to wellness. You need your damages compensated. Like, you need to be compensated for the pain and suffering and damages. The fact that they took 50 years of a life and they absolutely shredded it for no reason. And God help whoever decides that they want to get in the way of Rick getting what he needs. I wouldn't want to be standing in the way of that, because there's a lot of people who are really pissed off right now.
How far away are we from the statute of limitations, running out?
Pretty sure we're sitting on it. Pretty sure we're
It's the end of the month, isn't it?
Yeah. And my understanding is that the statute is approaching, and there's things that can be done to preserve it. And I don't want to make any definitive claims about what, but it's
apparently it's not very cut and dry. It's not like on this date, after this date, you can't do anything, right? Because I asked Michael, because I'm like, I don't fucking understand. I thought it was 2 years from the date of whatever, and he basically explained that as long as this is how I understand it. There is a statute of limitations. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's say that it's 2 years. Let's say that it's 2 years. If the behavior is continuing, like the torture is continuing, the mistreatment is still happening, right? Currently. There's a period of time that you can use in the suit. So if we file a suit 10 years from now, things that were done to him today wouldn't be able to get brought into it. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So anything that happened over 2 years ago from right now wouldn't be able to be used. So the longer we go on, so let's say he got tased on April 17th, 2023. Tomorrow, we can't put in that tasing incident. Not actually tomorrow, but next month if we file it, and this is just an example, we can't use that because it's outside of the period of time that we're talking about. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
But the thing we're working on, it's huge. I'm weird about my spreadsheets, right? And Angela today was like,
I made a copy of it because I didn't even want to touch it. I just made a copy of her spreadsheet. I'm not going to touch it.
I can't even make a spreadsheet. So see the stuff
I can do. You want me to help? I'm like, please don't fucking touch anything. Please don't.
I don't know anything about spreadsheets, word processors, any of that stuff. I don't even own Microsoft Word. I don't know. I don't own any Microsoft products at all. I hate
so much.
Lucy and Courtney are fucking wizards with it though. So I just copied it because I didn't even want to risk messing with it.
Well, it's just so much. It's so much, but it's also necessary. And I've been begging Angela to do because I can give you all the information you need for a documentary, but when it comes to making a documentary, I can't do that. I'm not good in that way, but I can give you all the stuff to, do it. I can tell you what
do the spreadsheet, and then I do the movie. Yeah.
So like,
And that's why we all need to work together, right?
exactly.
And this is what bothers me so much, that there are a bunch of people who are willing to give their time and expertise in their areas to help. And I'm starting to feel like our help's not wanted.
But what is
Right?
it? Is it a well, if I let Hella help me, then I've got to split like credit with Hella? Like, is that what it is? Like, I don't I want to do
It
it all by
feels that,
myself because it does feel that
yeah,
way.
well, I mean, like,
100%.
I know that, like, I trust you, trust Ange. There's a bunch of people I don't think are going to be that way, right?
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like there's this impediment that I don't know whether or not like Kathy wants help. I think she probably
That's
does,
where we're
but
at.
yeah, right?
I think that's where
Um,
care is at. Care is like we were talking about this earlier. Like, you shouldn't have to like chase someone down and beg them to take your help. Like, please let me help you. Like wise up and just let me help you. It's like, how much can you, when they sent her the agreement, there was people saying certain things are not okay, certain parts of the agreement, right? So like weeks go by and they're like, is anybody going to fucking say like what the thing is? Like, what is the thing so we can fix it? Like, why are we just doing
Waiting to
what is the
hear,
thing?
waiting to, oh, you'll hear from someone soon about what the issue
Yeah.
is so that you can correct it. Never fucking happened. Nobody ever
Yeah.
communicated.
mhm.
So it's like, if we're not going to work together and you're not going to tell me what's bothering you, or you're not going
Yep.
to tell me how it could be better, or you're not going to tell me how I can help, then Kara and Michael have other things that they could be doing for work. You have other things you could be doing, Hella. I have other things I could be doing. So,
Yeah.
like, how long is appropriate for you to keep begging someone to let you help them for nothing?
And wrongfully
Right.
convicted people or incarcerated people in need that they could also be helping, because Rick Allen's not the only
Sure.
person that's in a bad spot right now. And Kara and Michael are wanting to help him, and they
Mhm.
know this case really well now. And the amount of time that it would take to get another PCR team up to speed in the way that Kara and Michael are, God help them. But also, who is going to do it for free, and who has the reach and the wherewithal and the willingness and the connection and the skill set that they have? It baffles me. And the reality is that contract was purposefully maligned and purposefully misrepresented and skewed. And I don't know why. I don't have an answer as to why. It doesn't make
Well,
any
okay. I have a theory, and I assume that Erica Morse is actually friends with Kathy, and this is
Yeah.
not like actually someone just pretending to be her. It could be, right? It could
No,
be
she is.
someone from the
It's her.
state,
She's friendly.
right?
She is
Okay, let's
friendly.
assume it's her, right? Because part of me was like, maybe it's not her. Maybe it's someone from the state who's pretending to be her,
Well,
right?
That's another, yeah.
Okay. But assuming it's her, there's been Facebook posts where she has actually gone in and edited her post to take out
mhm.
the dollar figure that she is upset about not being paid, right? And then like she's come out on Reddit and exposed herself and goes, now I'm going to out myself. Let's get something clear. The only reason I thanked MS Murder Sheet was to scare the living hell out of lawyers who gave a false and misleading interview to Carroll County Comment, telling everyone Chris and I never worked for the defense team. We are still out over $50,000 for our work in this case. And by the way, we turned down MS on their offer. Does the truth even matter anymore? Right? So money.
Revenge, personal revenge, money. I haven't like,
Yeah.
okay. But why does Rick
I
want
talked
this
to them
person?
to scare the shit out of, obviously she's talking about Jennifer Auger because that's who
Mm.
gave the statement to Carroll County Comment. So you think that they owe you $50,000, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you tried to scare them. That sounds like not blackmail. What's the other word? Teresa always gets the right one.
Extortion?
Yep, extortion. Yep, that's the word. Yep. It's like I want to scare you into giving me what I need. Otherwise, I'm going, yeah, extortion. Why can't I remember that word? I always go to blackmail and everybody gets it right for me. But like,
But
that's
weren't
what
they
it
supposed
sounds
to
like.
be working pro bono?
Well,
or not?
no
Well, no,
idea.
Who
no,
knows?
they're being paid. They're being paid. But okay, so sure, all right. So if
But
there's
what does
if
that
there's
beef
some
have to do with Kara and Michael? Like, that's separate beef.
nothing.
Take your beef up with the person who deserves, like, take your beef up with whoever your beef is with. Like, leave and why does Rick have to always, like, he literally is a piece in a game. People are just using him, and it's like
It's like getting a divorce and like using the kid as
the
like
trials,
a sword in
right?
the divorce.
It's fucked.
100%. Right. So if this person is the person who's gatekeeping Kathy Allen, and she has some beef with money, right? And it's all about this shitty attitude to do with money. Fucking stop it, right? Like, just step aside and have somebody else take control of the situation, right? If you have a beef that has to do with money, go and sort that out yourself.
There's
and
ways
get
to do
out
that.
of the way.
There's remedies. There are remedies you can take that don't involve going on Facebook and maligning and smearing somebody and sharing private contracts and calling people names and sabotaging, because that's what this is, by the way. This has just been like ridiculous juvenile sabotage of, and for what? Because that post you just read, Hella, to me, I've never heard it before. I don't think I've seen that one. Someone just admitted the reason I did this was to scare an attorney. Like,
right.
That's super healthy.
And not even one of the attorneys that you're dragging all over social media right now. Like, she's not saying anything bad about Jennifer or Brad and Andy. She's
mad at Michael. Let's say
not even Kara.
Literally, Michael. She just hates Michael. Okay, fine. Leave. Then let your beef with Michael be beef with Michael. Like, stop sabotaging Rick's chances of getting free, quality, competent help fast. Period. I have a lot of beef with people. I don't let it seep into everything that I do, and like, I don't use it to sabotage. It's just it's so pathologically unhinged and disordered. It's so disordered. There's no room for it here. There's already enough bullshit and fuckery from the actual government. We don't need people who claim to care about Rick and Kathy to be adding to it. Like, get your ego out of the fucking room and behave like an adult, for fuck's sake. I've never experienced anything like this, ever.
Me either.
If I didn't, and Sleuthie and I talk about this all the time. I can't even count the amount of times that we just like, and Courtney too, she's not here, so I don't want to speak for her, but we've just sat and like, not to be melodramatic, but just it's devastating, dude. This is the most devastating thing that I can possibly imagine happening to a person, to a family. Rick did nothing to deserve this, and there's been opportunity after opportunity that has been missed, and it's not. I'm not saying that to blame anyone, but I'm really fucking tired of watching opportunities go by, and there's things that can be done to intervene, and it just doesn't happen. And at the end of the day, it's always because of fucking personalities. It's really sad. It's just sad. People want to help. Let them help.
That's exactly she and her mood. Well, somebody said something that Moon Turtle said something.
Where is that?
Moon Turtle said, at some point, people will grow tired of this. When supporters are working harder than the family to help him, makes me want to step away. And I know me and Angela have felt that way, because it's almost like you don't have to do anything, right? We're not asking, like, let's say we're talking to Kathy. Kathy, we don't need you to do anything other than like sign the agreement, right? We're not going to make you pay for anything. We're not going to make you hire anybody else. We're not going to make you, we're not going to be creating more hearings that you have to go to. Like, you're going to sign it and then like forget that we're even here. Right. And it's like, you want to think that you can keep doing things to help. Right. But in a way that's going to be meaningful. Like I said, you can't until you're actually representing him, not in the sense where you can declare him incompetent. Like, where the fuck did that even come from? Although he may be.
But I would actually, at this point,
that wouldn't shock me at all.
Well, yeah, but like to moralize it. Oh, they just want to. What do you mean? It's a literal. It's a health condition. That's all it is. It'd be
If
like having
anything, it would get him some help. Like if he's
seriously.
declared incompetent, he would go somewhere else to get some help to get not incompetent anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like not weird. You know what? You know what that's like, Angela?
What?
Remember when I sent you that screenshot? I don't where was it with that lady that was like, she was not 200 pounds. What,
Oh, it was in a oh fuck. It
what
was
a
in a
video.
live stream or on
Bob,
Facebook.
Bob. It was Bob. It was Court
Yep.
TV. And it was in the comments of Court TV. And this woman was like appalled because Bob said that Libby was 200 pounds. She was like, I'm 30 years old and I'm 130 pounds or whatever the fuck she said. There's no way she was 200 pounds. So I'm like, well, let's see. So I pull up Dr. Kaur's testimony and I'm like, okay, at their autopsy, both were 64 inches long and Abby was 95 pounds and Libby was 200 pounds. He wasn't
Yeah.
offending her. He wasn't spreading misinformation. That's what it is. And I said to Angela, and she like literally, as soon as I said it, she like took the words out of my mouth. And I was like, what that right there is someone who would judge a teenager for being 200 pounds. So she was like
Yep.
immediately offended that he would say that she was 200 pounds because like that's offensive. Right. So it's like they do that here. Like they think being declared incompetent is like offensive to him in some way because they're like disgusting.
Right.
Like
Or they
you're
think
less
that
than
means
if you're,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
like someone who's incompetent, they think that, oh, that means they just want to declare him incompetent so they can take advantage of him. Like, do you realize
No.
that the opposite would be true? That right now,
Yep.
everybody just pretending like he's fine and burying
It's
their
so
heads in the
hurtful.
sand is probably causing him so much more harm than what would happen. And the other thing is for them to put him back in solitary when he has a serious mental illness. And yeah, I guess
Didn't you already establish you shouldn't be doing that?
yeah,
Like-
he shouldn't even be there. So they
Right.
need to get a mental health. They need to get somebody. And I know the ACLU is basically useless. I don't know what the equivalent is in Indiana, but they need to get a disability attorney in there to put eyes on him and make sure that he is in fact okay. And I don't just mean okay. I know he's not okay, but I'm not convinced that he's even. We have no idea what is happening, who he's talking to, what's going on. Like, and that's not a criticism. Like, mental illness is not a character defect. It's morally neutral. It's the same thing as being 200 pounds. It means nothing. It means nothing. It's just a way to assess and determine what a person needs to be well. And right now, I don't think anybody would be well in solitary confinement, especially somebody who's doing 130 years for a crime they had nothing to do with. But regardless, somebody who is already predisposed to psychotic disorder, who already had an acute mental illness and a break from reality, who's
in the
not
same
been
circumstances.
Exactly. And he's had no opportunity to be restored to wellness yet. What, you think that we just like snap out of it all of a sudden? You think that keeping him in the same exact environment and the same exact conditions that caused his deterioration, you don't change anything about them at all except the fact that now he's there forever? And all of a
And
sudden
you can talk to less people. So now you've limited the number of people that can actually talk to him in a meaningful way.
And his like hope shot of having a trial, that's gone. So if anything, his situation has worsened. And so for people to just be acting like it's rosy and honky-dory in there, he's going to get baptized and he's going to whatever, he's like accepted in. And oh, the silver lining is that Rick thinks that prison reform is going to come from his situation. Oh, so he's accepted that he's going to die in DOC, because there's a lot more opportunity for prison reform to come from a civil lawsuit than there is from one innocent man dying in prison. I'm
what I keep thinking?
Not going to make any difference.
I just keep thinking that like it very much just feels like the whole after sentencing bizarre press conference and like things that were asked of him are somehow like coming to fruition. Like that the state is like getting what they wanted in terms of getting in the way of things coming to light. It's like,
oh, you mean this?
Tone down the rhetoric.
asking him like not to file an appeal, and people ask, like, I think we all, know that Nick doesn't want another trial, right?
Mhm.
First of all, Nick doesn't want another trial, but Nick also doesn't want somebody else, new, fresh eyes, looking at the shit that he turned over. And it just feels like people who shouldn't are putting roadblocks up to where he gets what he wants.
100%. And this is what Kat has been screaming in the chat, like whether or not it's direct or whether or not it's just kind of, you know, letting people, whatever the reason is, it does feel like the state is infiltrating. And the reality is they are, and they do, and they always will. And the frustrating thing is that had the defense just agreed, just followed through on what they promised, which was transparency from the beginning, a neutral platform to put out the exhibits and put out the evidence and follow through with that plan instead of burying their heads in the sand and getting cold feet and pussying out at the last minute and letting all the bullshit and all the heat fall on people that didn't even have the authority to do that anyway, you know, and had they just stood firm in their convictions for once, like they did back when they filed the Franks memo. I don't know what happened to those men that we respected, but had they just done that, the mess that we're in right now, I don't think would be nearly as like loud or predominant. It wouldn't be the main thing. The mess is always going to be around, but the thing that the state has working in their favor from day one is that they hide the truth. And the only way that Rick is going to get out is if the truth comes out, and that's not going to happen. But anyone who trusts Judge Gold and Jody to put all the evidence on their little flash drives, I can't even tell you. We've learned nothing. It's great, and I'm grateful to people who are requesting exhibits because that needs to happen. But wouldn't it be better if the defense attorneys just fucking released their own exhibits and their own work product on their own neutral platform? Like, why are they not doing that? I can't give you an answer except
well, I know you were asking that a week or two earlier. Like, why didn't the defense attorneys just put them out?
They literally can. What the fuck are they doing? I've been so back and forth with them. I'm here. I'm hopeful that here soon, I actually have a project that I should be working on instead of yapping for 3 hours, because it's to the point now where, like, people want to help. If they're not going to be able to help with what they're offering to help for, then they're going to help in other ways, right? And public access has been a huge fucking problem. So I think that put through us under the bus after wrapping an anvil around our necks. Yeah, basically.
Hey, Luke.
That's true.
Dear.
And it's so funny. So it's really funny. So before these exhibits started going out, I was like, and I know Angela was too, like the big thing was, like, if you're going to do something, do it. Do it all the way. Like when people were saying that we were responsible for, like, you know, the decision to post the video, and we post the video, and like I've already said my piece on it, so I don't need to keep going. But like, if I had access to all the shit, I'd have put all the shit on the website the day that I uploaded. Like, no one would have knew about the website until all the shit was up there. Like, I would have released literally everything. So it's when you make a plan, if you're going to like pussy out of the plan, do it before it starts going into motion. Because let's say you had good intentions. Well, now you look like you had maybe not so good intentions. Like, you were putting out a particular narrative or whatever. And I'm here to tell you that I know that Angela harped on that a lot, was like, you look maybe not how you wanted to look by doing this. You should have done nothing at all, number one. And once the state starts releasing things, you've basically lost your chance to post stuff, because anything you put on there after that is going to look retaliatory, I guess, rather than about transparency. So I want you to see all the things. Well, now it's going to be, well, they put out the interrogations. Why didn't the defense put out the interrogations? Because they knew that Rick looked guilty. Like, that's what's going to go around. When they should have just put everything out. Yeah, they did. By just putting out that video, made them look worse. It made everything worse.
I'm going to try and decipher Luke's chats for everybody, because
I don't know if we can just say what it is. Like, can we just
say it? I'll just say it. So there's a website called Rick Allen Innocence, and the defense, that video, the 43-second video, came from the defense attorneys, right? And they were going to put out all of the exhibits, but they didn't. They only put out that one video. And that made people really sus, because people were like, where did it actually come from? Did it come from the defense attorneys? Did it come from someone else? Did it come from who, what, where, when? Everyone was like, where did it come from? And they chickened out, right?
And they're the ones that should have taken responsibility for that. And
they didn't.
Placed that, I made it their responsibility. So when somebody approached me hatefully in my DMs, I was like, listen, I'm more than willing to accept responsibility for the shit that I do. I'm not going to accept responsibility for that. First of all, if you come to me with a question and I can answer it, I'm going to answer it. And so I said, came from the defense. Well, that wasn't a good enough answer. And I'm like, you can go live and you can tell people that it was Luke and it was this and it was that, and people aren't being like, but you'll be lying to them. And I think it's interesting because like Luke's DMs were shared recently on a stream, but mine were not. And so, because I was like, if mine show up, please let me know, because I'll just put them all out. Like, because you're not going to just show pieces of your conversation with me. We're going to show the whole conversation, or we're not going to show it at all. So, prior to going on and saying things that were said in that very first live, I said, if you say anything other than that the decision to post those and where they came from was anybody besides the defense, you're going to be lying.
Yeah.
So if you want to lie to
do it
themselves, you can do that. But I'm telling you that that's whose decision it was. And for whatever reason, people didn't believe it. And so are we just going to tell all the things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that video I don't care to be the one. So that video got posted, and there were supposed to be additional exhibits that were posted. And the whole idea was about transparency. Now, then the defense went from, I want to post this, and this.
A literal list of all of it. Right. Like a planned out release.
What?
They had like a planned out release with like an itemized list of the things that were going to be released and when. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And then what happened was it went out, and then people, I don't know if what prompted it really was just the fact that it was out, or if it was like whack jobs reaching out and saying like, where did this video come from? Like, it was just such an unnecessary, it's like, where the fuck do you think it came from? And like, could the website have said, this is the defense team of Richard Allen, and we are wanting to release these things because we believe in transparency? Yeah, it could have, if they'd allowed that, right? So part of with this agreement, just to kind of help understand where they were kind of going with this, was like Kara and Michael were like, we don't represent him. If we did represent him, we could take over the website and finish what was started, right?
Sure.
But they don't have the discovery, they don't have the exhibits, so they can't, right? So they were going to take responsibility for the website and the transparency and post the things that people want, right?
Yep.
Well, then Jennifer Auger, I guess, confronted Andy in particular about the video. And instead of him saying, yes, that was the plan, I was going to do A, B, and C, like a grown man and a professional and someone who's not doing anything wrong, instead of saying, yes, that was the plan. I already checked with other attorneys to make sure it wasn't violating any kind of protective order or whatever, and that these are public records. Instead of saying that, he threw everybody under the bus like he had no fucking clue where this video came from.
Oh, I don't know where that video came from. I have no
To
idea.
the point where OJ was going to put out a press release about how they didn't put it out. They don't condone it. They don't condone any additional exhibits getting out.
And that they won't be releasing
throwing
anything,
all of us under the bus.
and that moving forward, nothing will be released on their end. It was going to be in there. Right.
And so,
What?
yes. And so somebody who knows was like, motherfucker, you better not, because like I will out you, because that would be absolutely borderline, if not borderline, like crossing the line into unethical behavior. If you tell her that you had no idea that that was being posted, you are lying.
Right.
And thankfully, no thing came out. But it just seemed as though people just stopped giving a fuck. Like, the video was not enough. I'm glad that it's out, but you are, I was calling him a pussy. What did I call him yesterday? It was so funny because then I like Googled it and the word wasn't even funny, but the people also Googled was funny. Let me see.
And the problem is like what Sleuthie was saying.
Yeah,
implementing a quarter plan or implementing an eighth of a plan. And the other thing that I personally respect the most about Kara and Michael is that they walk the walk, they talk the talk, and they are loyal. They are not going to let anybody get thrown under the bus. If they do something, they're going to put their fucking names on it. They're going to stand on business, and they're not going to fuck around and hide and be shifty and shady. It's if you want to do something and you get cold feet and you back out, fine. But hand the keys over to somebody who has a spine then. Don't just back out and take all your balls and toys with you and hide them. Like, you want to back out, you don't want to have any part in it anymore, fine. Don't fault you for it. Get the fuck out of the way. And by the way, give me the keys to the shit that you have that we need so that we can put our names on it and put it out, because we're not
real.
Too.
And they would have done that. Like, they would have said, like, back off, give us what we need, we'll do it. Like, they can't just be like, they didn't want to be just like random people. Like, my whole idea was, and again, I'll say this, I didn't know shit about the website. I was annoyed at Angela because I was like, I didn't know anything about this, like, until it was up. And then I like immediately shared it, obviously. But like the background conversations, like, I was not in, but I'm aware of. And I was like, I like the idea of them getting released. And like, I think there's been too much of this. I have to have credit for what goes out. And it was just, 100%. It just seemed so strange to me after this was posted that the problem people had with it was the fact that nobody took credit for it. It's like, why do I have to take credit for it?
But was that the problem with it, or was it that people thought it was fake?
People that said they thought it was fake, there was probably a small percentage of people who thought it was fake. The majority of people just wanted to know who did it. Who released it?
Here's the thing. Exactly. They wanted someone, like, what is so wrong with not wanting to take credit? But like DB said, he said something up recently about the zip drive, the flash drives. He said, that video wasn't even in the thumb drives. If you think that when people were sending off their requests for their thumb drives, that they weren't including, like Barbara McDonald said, she sent like, I don't know the numbers, out of 200 exhibits, she got like 70 of them that she asked for.
Right.
So there's no way it's not wall art. It's a clock.
Oh,
but there's no way they didn't ask for that. Right. They're not even sending out the Bridge Guy video. And I always said, like, from the minute that went out, I'm like, Nick's got to be shitting himself. That video was never, ever, ever, ever to see the light of day ever. And I think it was a good way to start.
What video? Sorry.
The Bridge Guy video.
Oh, right. Yeah, it wouldn't have come out.
No.
But what's 100%. Weird to me is saying that's the original video from her extraction. Well, I feel like I've been a certain way to where like I shouldn't have to like convince you that it is. Like I'm saying that it is. If it wasn't, why would I like I felt like the questions that were being asked were wrong. It shouldn't have been, well, how do we know this came from the extraction? Right. And it kept being said, like, it's fake, it's edited, it's the edited version. Right.
Right.
And it should have been, if your opinion was that the video itself from her phone was clearer, you could hear things better, the audio was better than with the clip that they put out. So why didn't they just do like put it out originally? Why did they edit it all? Like that has nothing to do with whether this is original or not. The question should really be, if this is what the original looks like, why did they put out this other bullshit that is worse?
Exactly.
Or sounds worse, or has more sounds on it, more background noise or whatever.
Or why are we being told that the video represents, depicts one thing and it depicts something completely different? Like, why were all the questions about the wrong thing is really, and I think that the answer to that is, well, because if you're going to do something for the sake of transparency, then you need to do it the right way. And the problem was that the plan was for that to happen. And at the last minute, a couple people just got scared, I guess, or changed their mind.
The needed people, the necessary people for it to continue. Like if we could have finished it on our own, we would have.
Right. And we would have done it with our names on it, by the way. The reason like Luke and I got accused of, and Sleuthy too, but Luke and I got accused of a whole lot of bullshit that where would I have even gotten the fucking video? First of all, people think that me and Luke put out the video, that we leaked the video.
That's a really good question. Where would you get it from?
Luke and I are nobody. Where would we have gotten the fucking video? Where do people think that came from? I didn't have it. I saw it when y'all saw it. So
why was it so hard to believe that the defense would do that? Like, why was that so difficult to believe? And again, and I know this for a fact, because when they started like not doing it, like Angela was like, because I was like, do you have the other things? And she's like, no, they literally they sent them, and then like everybody stopped. And I was like, she's like, if I had them, we'd be posting them.
If I had them, they'd be out, dude. The second I had them, y'all would have them. Like, I'm not going to gatekeep a public exhibit. And I already told people, if y'all have shit and you're afraid to, and it's not a leak, by the way, I'm not even going to use that word. If people have the exhibits that they're afraid to put out themselves, send it to me, send it to Sleuthy, send it to Hella. We don't give a fuck, because that's our property, because they're public. We'll put it out with our name on it. Like, we're not afraid to do that. I will gladly own what is mine. But what we're not going to do is own shit that's not ours. That's
correct.
All.
And my thing with the asking the wrong questions is, people were saying, and actually me and Andrea Burkhart had like multiple conversations about this till she was finally like, we discussed it more in depth. And then she was like, okay, I believe you. So like, now my question is, what the fuck did they show us in court? Right. And I think that to DB's point, I think that's why it's not been released. So me and Andrea were talking about what she remembered seeing. And she's like, I am taking into account the fact that I was like looking at it on a diagonal, and I was much further away, and this and this and that. And I didn't really know what I was supposed to be looking for. So maybe I couldn't see it. But she's like, is that what we were shown? And I'm like, I wasn't there. I don't know what you were shown. I guess we'll find out when the exhibits come out. And it's like, the question that should be asked is, whatever Nick said was the original from the original from her phone, if it doesn't match the video that we've received that is out, then it was a fucking lie. And the questions should be directed at McClelland, not anybody else.
Yep.
Why did you say that was the original when it's not the original? And I don't know if it's not, because I didn't see the exhibits, and seemingly nobody's going to get that exhibit, which is weird to me.
No, it seems pretty clear that that's not going to be forthcoming. And there was more than one version showing that trial, correct? Right.
Well, so there was like the stabilized version. Then there was one that had like, it was like just audio, just enhanced audio. Then there was like a zoom in of just the bridge guy. Like, I don't even know. The one that was said to be the original from her phone is the one that people were saying was like only 30 seconds.
How's that possible that there's a longer one?
It's not. But if you go through and you clip out every portion that you can see bridge guy, it's about 13 seconds.
Yeah, it's not much. Yep.
So I threw on my tinfoil robe and I was like, was it 30 seconds because they is that why nobody saw Bridge Guy in the first one? Did they clip him out of everything just so they could see the girls or the girl and hear the other girl?
How many people said they didn't see him though? Like,
I feel like it was everybody. Like I feel like it was everybody. When it played, I feel like it was everybody. But then when the media, credentialed media, was allowed to look at it after, they're like, oh, I could see him. I could see him perfectly well.
I don't remember anybody saying they saw him in the first time it played. And I know Hidden True Crime did her lunchtime live that we still have that maybe we can refer to. But I don't know if I don't remember what she said in that one. We'll have to go back and look. I downloaded it. Yeah, let me listen to it.
She either said she didn't see him or he was like an ant.
Yeah. Because like if you watch it once, you've really got to pay attention.
Well, and the screen was like, it was like you're watching it on a projector in the daylight in a room with windows and you're far away. So like that also has to factor into it.
Yeah. And that's why I want people to tell me about what the deal was in the courtroom, because that's my other issue with that that diagram. If there's light in the room and you're far back and you're having to see exhibits from a distance, that freaking diagram, you can't see those sticks, right? You cannot see those goddamn sticks. Sorry, of course you know what I mean? Like gray on gray.
Yeah, and also, with that whole thing is, so when you go to a scene, you create a sketch. Like that's not abnormal. It's not abnormal that they created a sketch, but like. From what I understand, they had overhead photos. Like get on a ladder and look down and take pictures of the girls. So like, why do we need the diagram?
No, well, two reasons. Firstly, it'd be more obvious that it's a ritualistic scene from the top. Secondly,
looking at a picture.
Who wants to look at it? Yeah.
Like a photo.
Exactly.
Is different than looking at it in a sketch.
It's very different, but you can make the sketch look like that, what we saw today, right? You can make the sketch look gray or gray, and you can take the horns away.
You can take the horns away. Also, her arms did not look like. I'm of the opinion that it's not just the sticks, right? And I know that Perlmutter, if you did you see that live? You did, didn't you? The Perlmutter live?
Yep.
Oh, I had so many questions. Like I sent an exhaustive list of questions and they did not all get asked, but like,
no,
that was excellent. And I know that she said, I don't think she said it on the live, but she did say when she testified that like, or maybe it was at Court TV when she was talking about it. She's like, you can't just look at sticks. You have to also look at their bodies. Right?
Yes.
So if you're looking at a sketch where it's just like lumps, right? You can't tell their arms are out in a T pose, basically.
Yep.
So it does change how you see it. So you're probably right. They'll show them really up close photos of poor Libby's neck. But not, I would think that an overhead photograph of that scene is quite startling, I would say. I think it would be more difficult to steer people away from that. Looks really fucking weird. And they were not being hidden. That's really weird.
Just the whole fact that the absence of blood, like the way the way Abby was left, it's so haunting and weird. The direction of the blood flow, the fact that her tears from her eyes were going up her face, it's so weird. The jury heard about all this.
I thought Bob made a really good point. If the diagram was good for anything, is that it showed that there was that big puddle of Libby's blood.
Yep.
And basically the idea is that she wouldn't have got from, let's say that's spot A and spot B is where
Mm.
she ended. She couldn't have
Mhm.
gotten from spot A to spot B like on foot because she'd lost all that blood. And
Yeah.
there was no drag marks like in the leaves, but there also wasn't
Mhm.
like smeared blood all the way to the spot like that she was drugged. Like I think there was a comment made about how she was drugged through like a puddle of blood,
Yeah.
but it's
So
not
from
like that. Like it would have been smeared like all the way
it would
across the leaves.
yeah,
Do you
there's
know what
just
I
got a
mean?
couple of little spots. That's all. Whoops. A couple of little spots here.
Yeah.
Not used to this software. 1, 2, 3. There. Yeah, a couple of little spots. I mean, either they're deliberately misrepresenting that, or if that's real, that's just not possible.
Right.
Like, how do you carry a 200-pound person from there to there and not have drag marks of
In no
blood?
world are you going to tell me that Richard Allen, and again, I was really that woman that was offended the fuck out of me. I mean, I was pissed that she would say
Yeah.
something like that because it's just very judgmental. Like you said the quiet part like out loud. If you're going to think that way and be a piece of shit like that, that's one thing in your head, but you didn't put it out there for the world to see, and that's disgusting. But
Yeah.
Richard Allen literally weighed less
Yes,
than
he did.
Libby at his heaviest before jail or before prison, and was the same height. If you want me to believe that he, I guess, in order to meet the blood going like up her head, that he grabbed her legs and threw them over his shoulders and carried her over to that spot and somehow laid her down. I'm sorry, in no world are you convincing me that he did that.
No, it makes no sense. Was it Bill was just asking what was that little necklace area? Apparently,
I think it's blood.
Let's bring it back. No, it's this little area here. Hang on. I'm sharing incorrectly.
I was going to say, I see like a little box.
There is, hang on. Yeah.
My ex-husband is very strong. Used to be stronger than he is. And he would tell you that, is it possible to like deadlift 200 pounds? Like where you're simply bending over, picking up and putting back down? Sure. But to carry and in a way where you have to consider the blood. The blood was like running up. It was coming from her neck and running up her head. So she'd had to have been almost completely upside down.
Exposed dirt area. Why is that important?
Where's that?
Yeah, no, you can barely see it because of all the gray. So down beside the blood, see this little area that looks like a necklace?
What?
Yep.
Oh, that's pitiful. I almost, my eyes went cross trying to find that. I do see it now.
Yeah. How weird is that? And see, up in the legend up here, it says exposed dirt area.
I think that was where he mentioned kind of like if a stump had been there.
Oh.
What's the point of that?
Who the fuck know? Like, I don't think they know.
I don't know.
Nobody gives a shit about that. You know what I give a shit about? Things in her hair that Elvis knew about and shouldn't have knew about. I care about that. And that didn't make it to the diagram.
No. Also, P.S. One thing I didn't realize was that it was quite a few days until they noticed the bullet. So the crime scene was secured a second time, and then they noticed the bullet. They found the bullet later.
They've always said it was February 14th.
Yeah, the state has always stood by that they found it on the 14th of February, but the story has always been that they found it later. So I don't know. I don't believe the state at all, by the way, but I just don't know.
No, well, this is news to me. In fact, hang on a minute.
Those are trees.
Fan actually tweeted it just recently. So, a minute.
Who made this fucking exhibit?
Who made what exhibit?
Can we color this exhibit ourselves?
We know who it
Jason
is.
Page.
Can someone
It's
color
not-
this themselves? Like
Sergeant-
actually make the sticks brown and the tree or whatever? Because
I can fix it, but
look at the
yeah,
size
Sergeant
of
Page
that
did it.
fucking tree that is on Libby. Like, what is the practical purpose of that? That's
the tree that's the size of the tree.
the branch on Libby. Like, what possible practical purpose could that serve?
To hide her.
I don't know.
But just
yeah.
like just
That's the
pinning
point.
down
Just her
her shoulder,
shoulder,
it hit her.
just to hide. No, we're not going to hide her torso, which is the most exposed part of her body. We're just going to hide her. Like, get fucking real, dude. Be all the way for real. And the jury saw this and went, okay, sounds good. You got to be fucking kidding me. If I'm a juror, they'd have to kill me. Honestly, they'd have to kill me, or they'd still be sitting there.
Something big like that, you would think, like if your intention was to like camouflage her or whatever, that you would just put it directly, like directly over
her whole
her
body,
midline, basically, like, and
right.
then maybe pile sticks on the side. But the whole idea of using it to hide their bodies makes zero fucking sense when they were literally surrounded by a fucking clearing of leaves.
Cover them in dirt and leaves.
It would have been taken less effort to just.
They wanted them to be found. They wanted them to be found. It's the same reason the fucking clothes were put in the creek in the morning, in my opinion. Like they needed the bodies to be found, just like they needed the phone to be found for whatever fucking reason. I am so dissatisfied, and I can't believe.
What's this?
Oh,
And
Do you hear that?
Yes.
the 40 caliber bullet,
Yes.
the unspent round that was
Yes.
found between
Yes.
the bodies.
Right.
Right.
And my
Oh my God,
understanding
Julie,
is that
yes.
discovery
Yeah.
was made some days after the murder. So when the
Oh.
bodies
Wow.
were found on the 14th of February, 7 years ago tomorrow now, they did secure that crime scene for about 3 days, and they searched it, and then they cleared it for about a day and a half, and then they re-secured it. My understanding is that unspent shell was discovered during that second search after the scene had been re-secured. And
What the hell?
Okay, who would have been her source other than law enforcement?
law enforcement.
Okay, so what is true?
Well, everything that she's said on court TV thus far has.
Did they
come
depose
from-
Barbara? I'd have deposed Barbara's
No.
ass. Sorry,
Oh,
but
and
Barbara,
you-
but
and
I would have
they-
deposed.
They were absolutely told to talk to Barbara, by the way. 100%. They were told to talk to Barbara.
Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah, Julie's
you know what I
scary.
wonder? That somebody said who faked a foot. Catastrophe said who faked a foot photo. I almost wonder, like, because I couldn't see. I don't know if you guys could see, but like I could see the foot, obviously. But how do we know you could really actually see the bullet
You couldn't see the bullet.
in the
No
picture?
fucking way.
So like he could have been showing it to Rick and be like he said, we found the bullet right here, but that doesn't mean that he could actually see the round. So I would be interested to see the photo. Did Andy say, I can't remember. Has the defense ever said that? I know they saw photos of the round at the scene, but did they see them? Did they see it like in comparison to where the girl, like, are the girls visible in the photo or is it just the round?
No, just the round.
Okay, that's suspicious as fuck.
Yes, there's
That
no
is very sus
photo.
to us.
There's no photo documentation of the round or with the girls. There's no proof that the round was found while the girls were also like there. There's no proof.
Is there even a photo of the round in situ?
There's one photo of the round in the dirt. It's very close up. And that's it. But it's not like laying on top of the leaves. It's like in the dirt. There's one
Do
photo.
we have it?
I
Well,
don't
Labredo
believe
said it
so.
was like 2 inches in the ground or whatever.
Yeah,
Remember he said
it's
that and everybody was like,
buried.
what?
It's buried in the dirt. And no, I don't believe they released that photo. And I don't believe they will.
I want it. I
I've
want
seen
that
it with
photo.
my eyes. I'll say that. I've fucking seen it. Courtney's seen it. There's one photo and there's no bodies in it. It's like a close-up photo. So if there is another photo that has the round and the girls in it, I don't know if
Oh, here we go. Here the fuck we go. Because
What?
Catastrophe said, then Christine lied. I'm assuming she has said that she saw a photo of the round, like, with the bodies in the pic.
well, that's news to me then, because you can't even see that bullet without, like, it was my understanding that they had to move that they didn't even notice it until it was like glittering. Remember, Wish TV got it wrong and said there was glitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And then they acted like everybody else was crazy. Like we misheard the bullshit they were saying.
Right. Like you
What
couldn't
glitter?
see. No, they're
They
saying
said there was glitter on the ground. They definitely
meant,
said
like,
that.
they
And
meant
then they
that
went back and was like, then
they
went
meant
back
that
and
you
was
could.
like,
Sorry, go ahead,
it was
Nicole.
like glittering in the sun. It's like, no, you bastards literally said that there was glitter on the forest floor. Please stop.
Right. So, I mean, in as far as I know, I'm not aware, and that doesn't mean shit, obviously, but I, at least at some point, was told that there is no evidence or no photographic evidence of the bullet at the scene. The only proof up until this point at least that had been disclosed in Discovery sharing or whatever was one photo of the bullet in the ground, and it's just the ground and the bullet. You can't see the bodies in it. You can't. It's not like the crime scene and then like pointing to the. It's just a bullet in the dirt, and it's like in the fucking dirt.
And there was no like photos of it getting pulled out of the ground. And I think there was also one photo of it like at the lab, wasn't there?
And then there's, I guess it's literally the chain of custody goes from in the dirt, apparently at the crime scene, allegedly. I can't tell this dirt from other dirt, so I'm just going to believe you that that's the crime scene. And then it's at the lab all of a sudden.
And there was a dog?
I don't believe it was found the 14th because I found it very strange, and I'm no like language analysis or body language person, but like it just seemed really bizarre to me that Holman kept saying that over and over again. Like, we've had this round since the 14th. It's like, okay, nobody asked you that. He's like, this has been secured on a lab since the 14th of February, 2017. It's like, okay, sir, nobody asked you that.
Okay, I
He
pulled
said it
up
over
Lauren's,
and over again, like he felt guilty about it.
Sorry, just real quick. I pulled up Lauren's lunchtime live. She said, let me tell you what I saw in the video. It's 40 seconds. I didn't even see the bridge guy. I did not even see the bridge guy at all. But I know the bridge guy was on there for a split second because they showed us still shots afterwards. So she didn't.
Of course, you'd believe that.
Yeah, so she didn't see it either the first time they showed it, and this was before lunch. So,
can we just come to Lauren's reasoning for a minute there? She didn't see it on the video, but she knew it was on there because they showed stills of it afterwards. So she just believed that he was on there because they showed stills afterwards.
Well, but that's what the jury's gonna believe. Like Lauren is just is like an extension of what the jury is, in my opinion. She's just a person, right? A person who trusts the police implicitly. So if the police tell Lauren something, she's gonna believe it. If the jury hears something from Nick, if Nick gets up there and says bridge guy killed the girls and Rick Allen is bridge guy, that's all he has to say. He doesn't have to prove it.
So weird. It's so bizarre to be like, oh, I didn't see him in that video, but since you told me he's there, then I must have just missed him. And a whole ass courtroom think that? Like, that's outrageous to me.
Right.
I just, but my problem with that is that she has a lot of influence over people's thoughts.
That's scary.
Well, yeah. I don't know what to tell you. So I guess nobody saw it. Nobody saw Bridge Guy the first time it was shown.
I think that the exhibits that reference, like, I don't even know how many there's too many of them. The Bridge Guy video, the enhanced video, the still shot, the regular audio, the enhanced audio, like all of those exhibits, whatever they are, I don't think they're ever going to be released because at that point, because I'm really suspicious of this now. People were saying, well, we'll know which video it is once they release the exhibits. Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that those exhibits are not being released so that someone could literally pull it up next to the one that was released and say, Nick said this was the original when he presented to the jury. And you know what? Here's the thing. Do you know whose job it would have been to catch that?
Brad and Andy.
Yeah. So let's say that that video, I'm here to tell you, apart from the defense saying that it was, I know that that is the video from her extraction, the first
Yeah.
one done,
Yeah.
and all the subsequent ones. It
Yep.
looks the same. The quality is the same. The sound is the same. The length is the same. It is the video from her extraction. Okay.
I can
Yep.
tell from the metadata. I've looked at it.
So it's like, it's, if anything else was shown other than that, it was not the fucking original. And in my opinion, as soon as they saw it played and Nick said, this is the original, something should have been said, because they should have
I agree.
known that that wasn't, if it wasn't.
Mm.
I agree. Yeah.
Like,
and the
Yeah.
subsequent enhancements should not have been a thing.
it
Absolutely
was
not.
clearly unnecessary. There was
Yeah.
absolutely no reason to enhance anything for the jury, because
No.
you could see the bridge guy in the original, you could hear
Right.
him in the original.
And why wouldn't they let the jury view that as many times as they wanted to in the jury room with headphones? The unfucked with original version of the video. Why wouldn't they just let them see it? What is this game that they're playing? The fucking games, y'all. It's a trial for a double homicide of 2 children. You get one chance to do it, and you're playing fucking games with the jury where they only get to see the video one time in a room on a projector. Are you fucking kidding me? What
I
is
would have
that about?
bargained. This would have been my bargain. If Judge Gall would have not allowed testimony as to what is said or seen in the video, then I would have been like, yeah, let them watch it as many times as they want. You can't say that bridge guy says guys down the hill, and you can't say where he's at in the video. Nothing. If you're just going to give it to them for them to decide what it says and what it shows,
With
then
zero
yeah, let them see
commentary.
it. Let them see it back there, and let them watch it a billion times with earphones. I would be super curious to see what they thought was being said. But
Right.
I think once they knew that testimony was going to be allowed to come in, that was to tell them explicitly. So, perfect example. The video came out. It was enhanced a little bit, and then people really thought that they heard that be a gun.
Right.
And that's because you heard some jackass say that that's what it said. So at that point, if you're going to allow testimony to it, then no, I also would not have wanted them to listen to it over and over again, because they would have eventually convinced themselves that they heard exactly what they were told to hear.
Right.
Exactly. That I don't think anyone would have ever heard that be a gun if someone hadn't have said it.
I'm not convinced that anyone would have heard guys down the hill if we weren't told prior to ever hearing it that that's what it was going to say.
I would have had to listen to it a
Maybe
couple
not.
of times. I would have had to, and then maybe I would have heard it, but I would have heard it differently. That's my problem. I would have heard it different. If I had just been given the video and audio without any kind of like state fucking interference, 5 years of bullshit spewing about how the girls were terrified and how the investigators will never unsee the things they saw on that video. It's like,
how is that not a bigger deal?
I don't know, dude. I don't know, because people are not
It
people are not angry at the right fucking people.
Yeah,
This is-
why was who posted the video more important than why the fuck did you lie to us forever about what was
Yeah.
in that video?
and you're still lying. And you're still lying. And people are just willingly eating it up. And my thing has always been, I have a lot of beef with a lot of people who have done a lot of shady shit to me, but that beef doesn't even come close to the beef that I have with Nick McClellan and the state of Indiana. And so I am never going to use my platform that I have to talk shit about people that don't matter. My platform is all of my smoke goes for that motherfucker who lied to the public for 5 years, who convicted an innocent man on some bullshit fucking evidence. And people should be angry about it. And they're not. And I don't know why, but I'm fucking pissed.
It's so weird. And it's also weird that the people that were questioning like how real the video is that came from, and I think I said this somewhere, that it was just amazing to me that we were questioning where it came from when we're being told where it came. Like, we're being told exactly what it is from people that
You want
haven't
Andy
lied.
Baldwin to
Like,
write
there's
his
no
name in
reason to
fucking
lie.
blood? Like, you want him to write his name in fucking blood for you? The attorneys for Richard Allen, there's only, 6 of them? Come, use your fucking imagination, okay? But as far as I'm concerned, all of that bullshit was disingenuous, and it was an entirely me-centric, and not me, but like Luke said, one person reacted badly and created an entire shitstorm, and that's why we should not be giving our views and our attention to bad actors who I don't care if your information's good. If you spend half your life dragging other people, I don't care what you
Yeah.
have to say, period. I don't
And
give a fuck about that.
about that person, like specifically when you're talking about, so that's kind of where I was going. Like, it wasn't good enough. You needed to see the metadata. You needed to see this. You needed to see that. You don't trust it. And it's like, okay, but then in the next breath, you're like, well, we'll see when the state puts out the exhibits. It's like, so the state's going to hand you something and tell you that it's what they're telling you it is, and you're just going to believe it because it came from the court. That doesn't seem very smart. But at the same time, and I said this to Teresa the other day, I'm like, nothing will ever be good enough for some people.
No,
So
no, you're right.
you give them the video and they're like, well, I need to see the metadata. You give them the metadata and they're like, well, I need to see the extraction. You give them the fucking extraction. They're like, somebody created this. It's not real. It's not, I need to see her physical phone. And then you give her the physical phone. It's like, this wasn't her phone. She had a rose gold phone. Like, it's never going to be enough for some folks. So it's sometimes I advocate for transparency, obviously, but sometimes just having all the things that you want isn't going to make a difference. Like, you might want, let's say, to see all the Orion tips, let's say. But what the fuck would be the point of putting something like that out that has information in it of like, and I can only imagine some of the shit that is in there, but I would be willing to bet my left thumb toe that it has, people calling in saying that their ex-husband did this and that to them, and they think they killed the girls. Well, or my neighbor is really suspicious and super weird and did something to my kid one day, and like, so then, what, you put that out in the public so that people could start killing each other?
Right.
It's not helpful. Like, it's not helpful. So when you're actually given information that might be helpful, so that like other people's thoughts and or opinions or whatever skills they have, let's say that there's a picture of something and they're like, well, I can't really make heads or tails of this, so I'm going to put it out. And Hella's like, oh, I can, do A, B, and C to it and make it maybe more clear or something. Like, that is stuff that is helpful.
Right.
But it's counterintuitive if you're going to be like, well, I don't know where this picture came from. Where's the metadata?
Stirring up shit.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to trust
Stirring up
somebody.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're gonna question everything, then fine, fucking question everything, and that's really how I feel. Like, if people have given you reason to question, then fine, question it. But as far as I'm
people have
concerned,
given you reason to question it,
right? But if they haven't, then I don't know. I'm just we get called conspiracy theorists all the time for just basically questioning shit that's questionable, and that's a tactic that we know people use, and they've been using it since the beginning of time. Just label something a conspiracy theory and make it sound ridiculous. But then you have other motherfuckers who literally everything is a fucking conspiracy, and that's also fine, but don't use your fucking I'm trying to say this without, like, I don't want to be personal, but
yeah.
The reality is, do your fucking due diligence. Then if you have a question, then investigate it, and don't come for people who are out there looking into shit and finding information and doing research and coming across information. Like, Sleuthy and I are not fucking gatekeeping. Hella's not gatekeeping. Teresa's not gatekeeping. Yep. Like, if we come across something, we share it immediately, because that's the way that we operate. So for people that are suspicious of everything and suspicious of the website and suspicious of the attorneys, we're not like hiding anything. That there's a difference between hiding shit.
We all mean well. Yeah.
Well, I don't know who means well. I know you mean well. I know that Sleuth means
well.
Well, here's an example. Sometimes
most of us mean well.
I agree
sometimes
with that.
people do know things. Like, sometimes people do know things and they literally can't say. Like, sometimes things go above people and they can't say. So, but here's the thing. When you can't say, then shut your mouth. Don't tell people, I know this, and this, but I can't say anything. It's like, why are you saying anything at all? Don't say anything. And while I do agree that information should be public, like I said, things that are irrelevant, such as people's random ass people's social security numbers and all of their contact info. No, I don't think that that's necessary for the whole world to know. Huh?
Sorry, Courtney's comment made me laugh.
It's like, whatever happened. So apart from the comment that Osbrook made about like the geofence stuff, which was entirely twisted to say something that it
That was.
didn't. And
Yeah.
then when he attempted to clarify without using any names and also burdened himself with some of the blame for the mix-up, it still got thrown back in his face in a bizarro way, and it's continued to do so since then. But when he throws out pieces of information, it's like to try to get more information. For instance, I haven't heard nobody say nothing about the fact that at 3 o'clock or whatever, Libby's phone was at 4% still yet. Like the whole conversation on how in the fuck that phone at 4% lasted for 12 hours has just been forgotten. If you're going to question things, like question something like that, do an experiment. If you have the phone laying around, put it at 4% and see how long it lasts.
Fair. I mean, I got really pissed off when the video came out, and just there was like a few people, creators, people, whoever, who were just like, it's all fake and AI. Everything's so fake and AI. I can't believe that there are people who believe that it's real, that this and that, and then also
not even giving it a chance, not even considering it for a second.
Yeah. And if you even take a moment to entertain that it could be real, then you were just attacked and just throwing mud at one another. And it's like, well, how about we be at least pleased we've got something to look at. And
Seriously.
You asked for that video for 8 fucking years.
Right.
Yes.
And you got
get
it.
the video and you're like, oh, no.
I still firmly believe this, that video was never going to see the light of day. Period. They never, ever. That video was never to be released ever. And you know what? As pissed as I am at trial counsel for backing out and for implementing 5% of a plan, what the fuck ever, that video got out, and that video never would have gotten out. Because look at what he did. Nick McClellan gets on a stream with HTC and starts weeping about the video being out. Yeah, motherfucker, I bet you are crying about the video being out.
Yeah.
And that's
it's real.
It's real. And that video is not in any way even remotely similar or in any way like what he has tried to make it for 5.5, 6, 7, 8 years. Like,
you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Did anybody see him weeping over the crime scene photos being leaked? Because I didn't.
Me neither.
But I saw him weeping over a video that seemed, I mean, if you didn't know what happened like after that, like you would be like, okay, like what is,
you know, he said that was the hardest thing for him to view. He said that video was harder than he said that video was the hardest thing for me to view. Are you fucking, are you all right?
Want it out.
Are you all right, dude? He's deviated his fucking brain at this point. That is ridiculous to say with his whole chest and full confidence that the video of the girls before their death, God knows how long before their death, was harder for him to view than the crime scene photos. Are you fucking kidding me? Either that was entirely disingenuous or that man is disturbed more than I even realized, because that's an insane fucking thing to say. And that's just
it pissed him off because it's real.
It would make sense. Like all of his reaction to that, like the silence and then speaking on it and the weeping, like I don't know, that probably was the hardest eye roll. Like I'm lucky that my eyes went back to normal, because I just, when he started weeping, I was like, dude,
I had to turn it off.
Are you fucking serious? Like, please just grow up. But all of it will make sense if we find out that of all the exhibits shown at that trial, of bits and pieces of that video, if none of them were the original from her phone, then it all makes sense.
He's got
because nobody was ever supposed to know about it. Even if they granted every exhibit that wasn't sealed and they gave it to nobody would ever fucking know that what they were looking at was not the original.
But how
now
will
they
we
do.
know, though? My worry is that we're never going to know for sure what was shown at trial because I don't trust them to properly, catalog or categorize the exhibits. And I don't trust anybody, not even trial counsel, to actually have an accurate, memory of what actually was shown in what order. Like, how are we going to know? This is why it's insane that this is exactly why the trial was held in secret, so that we can't go back and fact check. That's it.
Exactly. And Jamie's right. The video under any other circumstance was completely unremarkable. There's nothing special about it. It does not look like Pixar, for fuck's sake. Right? It just, that area is a bit spooky looking. Like the Monon High Bridge is not a normal looking place. Like, it does look a bit odd. And the trees at that time of year, like
it's real ominous.
everything. It does look ominous. Fine.
Well, like, what? Go ahead, Ella. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like we're looking back at a phone from, or a camera from, like 1990. 2017 wasn't that long ago. The iPhone 6S wasn't terrible at taking video in daylight. It was awful at taking video in low light. Like, it was awful at taking video or photos in darkness. But in daylight, it was decent. It could take a decent video. So
acting like, oh, this video is too clear, it has to be the enhanced version. Like, what do you think an iPhone was like in 2017? It really was fine. Like, they were.
Technology was okay back then, and DB said I broke a few hearts. Well, yeah, I did, because I was like, nah. There's nothing so clear about it that it's not real.
Right.
And then people were like, oh, but how come he's the bridge guy's still not clear? Well, that's because you're zooming in, man.
Right.
Like, I explained a bunch of things about it to show that it's actually a real video, and people didn't like it.
Yellow just asked a really good question. Why would they call it if it was a trial exhibit? And that's a great question, and it probably seems obvious, but it's not. Like, the video as shared on that website as the original extraction from Libby's phone, they probably do believe it was leaked, because that version was never fucking shown to anybody, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah, probably it wasn't.
And also, you have to remember, you really have to think about the level of trust that the defense put in the stuff that they were being given. Now, why? I have no idea. But for instance, did they look at the extraction for the video, or were they given the video by Nick and saying this is the original video?
Exactly. And
even with their, like, so Stacy, you paid Stacy like $30,000 or more, right? And all the fuck she did, and I'm not hating on Stacy, but I'm just saying, for $30,000, all she did was review their reports. For $30,000, I would want to gain access to the phone and have her do her own thing and see if she could find things. But at that point, it had been extracted so many times and turned off and on, and shit was overwritten and this and that it's like, now all we have to rely on is what they're giving us and telling us was the extraction, right? And even with the DNA stuff, like, I do think people forget that. I think that people think that, well, why didn't the defense, for example, I know this was said a lot, why didn't the defense's expert do their own bullet analysis or whatever, their own experiment to see if the markings matched or whatever? And it's like, you do understand that they didn't have access to that stuff.
Right.
Like, they didn't
have a physical bullet.
Yeah, they didn't physically look at the bullet.
You got to pick your battles too. Like, how much are you going to spend money on? What are you going to spend money on? Like, the ballistics evidence refuted itself, really, I feel. And it kind of did.
It did.
Well, as much as the juror likes to say that they discounted the bullet is what got Rick, is what they arrested Rick on. So, it's all well and good for them.
It's the only thing at the scene that attaches him to it.
exactly that they claimed attached to him, right?
If you
And
believe
and whether or not the jury discounted it or not, like the fact is that bullet was not Rick's, and whatever bullshit examination that Oberg did on it, they should have fought harder to suppress it, and I don't know how, and I know that I'm probably being unfair, but that bullet being discounted by a jury doesn't fucking matter because that bullet landed Rick in a trial. And it doesn't matter if they say they discounted it. Clearly they didn't. It's the only thing that the state had in their, opinion to put him at the crime scene.
Right.
So for the jury to say that they discount the bullet, to me, is just a lie, whatever, that juror. But regardless, it's really scary that Oberg has not been scrutinized more heavily for what she did and what she claimed. Like,
Yep.
I don't know how the firearms community operates, but for them to make up an experiment on the spot and
Yep.
say that it's valid and legitimate and enough to arrest somebody and charge them with 2 homicides. Like, if I'm a firearms examiner, if I'm a Dr. Warren or a fucking whoever the fuck else, Tobin, I'm pissed. I'm fucking pissed because, believe it or not, there is a degree of scientific reliability in that field relatively. And when clowns like Oberg come in and start making shit up and convicting innocent people with it, I'm going to have a fucking problem with it. So where are her peers holding her responsible and holding her accountable? Why is nobody pissed about what she did to Rick? I'm sorry. She gets all my smoke too. And she also has some bullshit to say about Breonna Taylor, by the way. So she's already not a credible fucking person, in my opinion. But anyway, go ahead, Sleuthy.
I found it really compelling that the expert that they had that went up, it's not like it was somebody who was only going to go up and be like, oh, that's junk science. That's bullshit. You can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, they brought up a person who is an expert in the field of actually doing those tests and believes in them and feels that they're legitimate. And that person who believes in those experiments and the testing and stuff is like, yeah, I believe in it. And yeah, it can produce results, but she did not do it the right way. And for example, and I was on about this the other day, is when so all previous testing of guns was done the way that the state said the bullet got there, right? So they were just ejected from the guns. And some people, I don't know about others, but we do know from trial testimony that like Weber's couldn't be excluded, which means that it made some level of, like, if they need 15 markings that are the same, it had to have made some markings that were the same between that bullet and the one that was found at the scene in order for them to not be able to exclude it, right?
Right.
Well, she did that. They tested all, however many other guns, and the bullet simply ejected, didn't match the one at the scene. And so they immediately excluded it, right? But yet when it came down to Rick's gun, they did it and tested it exactly the same way as all those other guns. And when it didn't match, instead of saying it's excluded, they went a step further for only Rick's gun to fire a bullet from it and then compare it again. He was the only one whose gun was treated that way.
Right. Well, because didn't she say something like make it work or I'll make magic happen?
Yep.
Okay. How is that allowed?
Yep.
I'll make magic happen. I will force this to fit. And that's literally what they've done from day one. They were going to make it fucking work. And that's what they did when they found Rick's tip. They said, make it fucking work. And they made it work all right.
She shot the gun.
He shot the fucking gun.
That's how desperate. That is how desperate she was to get that to match, because whatever desperation she had or whoever had to make his gun match, they didn't have that same level of desperation when they were testing guns for the prior 5 years. Because they never said, oh, fuck, it doesn't match, but we think this motherfucker's guilty. Let's try to fire it and see if that works. They didn't do that for anyone else.
You know what's funny about Oberg? She says, oh, I've never been wrong. Really? Because Oberg went toe-to-toe with Tobin like a year or two before this fucking case ever went to trial, and she got her ass handed to her by Tobin. Literally, 2 years before. So for Oberg to say that she's never been wrong before, first of all, that's fucking
But
Oh,
was that
burning?
person convicted? Like, was that person convicted?
I don't know.
Because
don't
if
remember.
so, then she probably
remember?
considered that was not wrong.
Motherfucker. I just hate everything. Dude, this is
I
so
told you. I told you the first thing I would do is
Motherfucker, I just hate everything.
I would sit her in a cafeteria at like a long
beat the
table.
shit out of her. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Sleuthie.
Yeah, with all the lights off and just that one dangling light like you see in interrogations on the movies.
Get her
And
ass.
I would give her 10 Sig Sauer P226s, right? And bullets from those and the bullet from the crime scene. And one of them will be Rick's. And I'd say, you tell me out of these 10, which one is Rick's. It
Go
should
ahead.
match that bullet. It should match that bullet. And it shouldn't be hard because you've never been wrong. And it's only going to match one.
She wouldn't be able to recreate that experiment. That's the problem. It's
Exactly.
not recreatable because when they tried to recreate it, they failed. And so they said, well, let's try to fire the fucking thing and see. And I can't even believe that. I don't even know how to, because I know less than nothing about firearms, but I know a little something about like reliability of basic experiments. And that to me isn't like, it's insulting. She really had the balls to go to trial and testify and stand by her experiment. I would have laughed so hard they would have thrown me out of the fucking courtroom. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
That's so embarrassing.
It did.
And then said, I can't have you guys look at my comparison pictures because like you're not scientists. And so you won't know what you're looking at. And that's not fair to me.
Bitch, neither are you. You're not a fucking scientist either. You literally said you used your eyeballs to make this comparison, right? So if you could do it, why can't we? Do your eyeballs work differently than mine? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm here
The
to tell
marks
you,
didn't even match.
she should be
In
catching
fact-
way more smoke because she's been on like boards that like she's helping.
Yeah.
She's like helping people learn this and testify about it like to other people. So if that's really how she thinks, you're talking about more people that she's just training to go say whatever.
Exactly. Guys, we need to go in a minute, but we do want to address this from True Crime Addicted, and thank you for the $5 super chat. Someone please explain Kathy/gatekeeping. I'm concerned. That was from earlier on. This was to do with the fact that Kathy is friends with a former investigator on the case. That's Erica Morse, I believe is her name. And Kathy is taking advice, I believe, from this lady. We're just not sure whether or not she's getting great advice. Guys, do you want to weigh in?
I would just say my 2 cents that I haven't said. You can rewind stream if you need to get more details because it's all in here. But
yes.
Basically, I think it's unfair for anyone to hold Kathy Allen, to put the responsibility on Kathy to be making informed, competent decisions for her husband right now because Kathy has been traumatized and victimized by the state too. Kathy's not a lawyer. She's got her own, trauma from this, and somebody needs to be basically protecting Kathy from vultures who don't have her best interest in mind so that she can take care of herself and heal. And somebody who knows about mental illness and knows what they're doing, and also probably an unbiased legal professional needs to get in there and help Rick. And that's how I feel at the end. And we love Kathy Allen. Hashtag Team Kathy Allen. But it's not fair to ask her and expect her to be making legal decisions for her convicted husband, period.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought she did have her own lawyer. Yeah.
She
Sorry,
does.
go on, Sleazy.
She does, but and I found out today, I just noticed, that he was actually supposedly, according to Erica, he was her friend. And she's the one that hooked him up with Kathy 2 years ago, she said. So that's a little different. I was under the impression that he was Kathy's friend from like a long time ago, but according to Erica, that's not true. But I agree with everything that Angela said. I think part of also the issue is that even if she were to take on that responsibility, she's not just being advised by professionals. she's mostly being advised by like non-professionals. And we did talk about it earlier. I agree that you should go rewind and listen, because I think there's a lot of variables to how they're relaying information to her in order to help her make decisions. And I personally think she'll come to regret some decisions, and that's just like further harming her.
Yeah, I wonder whether Bob could just reach out to Kathy.
He has.
I'm sure he has. Kathy, if you see this or hear through somebody about this, we all just wish the best for you and Rick.
For sure.
And we all just want to help.
For
like,
fucking sure.
We're not trying to take any spotlight or get in the way of anything. We just really want to band together and give any of our expertise that we can, whatever kind of expertise that is, but we don't want to impede Rick's success in any way in overcoming this wrongful conviction. We want to help. So that's it. That's totally it. We have absolutely nothing to gain from inserting ourselves, I suppose. That's kind of the term, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So
It's
it's sad.
We don't need anything in return.
Yeah.
Anything in return.
You know
Exactly. And all of this stuff is just a huge distraction. We really need to focus on the goal. We do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We really do. So it makes me sad when I see all this stuff going around. And I think that all the people who are on the really firm side of Rick's guilt are just laughing at all of this. They're just like, oh, look at them all fighting amongst themselves, and they just think that it's all really silly what we're doing. So
you want to laugh? I'll give them something to laugh at.
And I would imagine that they're pleased, because when that's happening, nobody's helping Rick. So he's just staying where he is in his current circumstances, which is exactly what they want and feel he deserves. And we don't, and we need to start acting like we don't.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any suggestions for things that I can help with, obviously there's lots of exhibits out, and I'm putting out videos and things. I was pleased to be able to at least expose a couple of things in regard to the tampering with the evidence of the car video, and also I'm not happy about that exhibit. The one with the graphic of the crime scene, and I'll be looking through all of the exhibits for more. So do send me emails, tweets, whatever you have regarding questions, and I'll be back with more. Thank you to Anne. Thank you to Sleuthy for being here. It was a great chat.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys and everyone in chat. You've all been fantastic. We're going to go and raid Potentially Criminal. Now he is doing his crime stream, and I don't know if Angie's gonna be streaming soon. If she is, you go ahead and put a link in chat, mate. Welcome to. Thank you guys, and thank you for all of your input, guys in chat. And time for the song. We've got to have the song. Happy Easter, everyone.
Her name was Helen. She was an Aussie. She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. Her co-host is Donnie and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an 803. To the attention, excited